Hi, and welcome once again to Inside Athletics, brought to you by the IAAF. I'm your host, Ato Boldon, and we're at Opa-locka Airport in South Florida. Now, why would we be at an airport? Well, our last episode, we had some high flyers in the form of Jen Shore, and today is no exception. He flew over the barriers 21 years ago at the Barcelona Olympics. I'm talking about Kevin Young, one of my real mentors in the sport, and today we're going to talk to him about various subjects. Here's part one of our interview with Kevin Young. Kevin Young, good to have you on Inside Athletics. Thanks for joining us. Let's talk 46.78, your world record. The world record has fallen in just about every other event with starting blocks. But yours has lasted. It's now in its 21st year. Not a lot of world records last 2 decades. What do you attribute that to?
A lot of hard work, sacrifice, great coaching, great commitment, and a pretty kick-ass race. I mean, to tell you the truth.
Now, you ended up being Olympic champion, world champion, and world record holder. But you walked on at UCLA. You weren't a scholarship athlete. Tell us about that path from non-scholarship athlete at UCLA to NCAA champion, world record holder, and Olympic champion.
A few things happened. Growing up in LA, always wanted to go to USC. Didn't get the opportunity of getting accepted at USC 1 week, getting accepted at UCLA the following week. Simple phone call by Art Venegas telling me, and he told me that they weren't going to offer me a scholarship, but I can definitely come out there and walk on. I thought that was great. You know, I'm a go-getter, and just have the opportunity going out there to be involved in track and field. But then again, seeing a lot of the guys that I participated in, a few guys I participated in high school track, being ones that were given the scholarships, and I had something to prove, not only to myself personally, but also to those guys, let them know that I was capable of winning against them. And I think another condition that preceded that was the fact that I was a freshman athlete, and I can say it was John was a freshman coach. And a lot of folks fail to realize that the two of us actually got together on numerous occasions and discussed what we wanted to prove with that coach-athlete relationship. And him being a new coach, assistant coach at UCLA, Olympian, he had a lot of information that he imbued upon myself and imparted to me, and I kind of listened to that. And it took a number of years for me to really get that settled into that and to run fast. Those opportunities.
So let's talk modern day 400-meter hurdling. First of all, it seems like that event is so helter-skelter. 1 year, one guy's the world champion. The next year, he gets nothing at the Olympic Games, right? Ty Green. The next year, you have one guy who is the Olympic champion. He doesn't make the finals. Of course, I'm talking Angelo Taylor here sometimes, because he does well at Olympics and not so well at Worlds. Right. Looking at the current crop of guys, who would you say, if you had to bet your money, has a legitimate shot at 46.78?
A legitimate shot at 46.
Legitimate shot at 46.78. Is it somebody young? Is it somebody who we're overlooking? Is it Felix Sanchez? He's Olympic champ. He came back. It would break of nowhere.
It would be someone young. I would say Colson.
Coulson? Yeah.
Coulson, the Puerto Rican runner. Right. I mean, because he has all the attributes of even extensions that I didn't even have. The guy's like 6'6". He's tall as bolt. He's capable of running. I'm quite sure, maybe a 12 steps here and there. However, I hope psychologically or mentally he can prepare himself to be able to take the risk during the course of the races. Try a 12 step somewhere and find somewhere within his racing set that he can apply that within the course of his race.
Who do you enjoy watching compete now?
I really enjoy watching the quarter miler from Grenada, Karani James. I thoroughly enjoy watching David Rudisha run that half mile. Yeah. Those two guys especially. I mean, I've been keeping my eye on Bolt for a number of years. When he was, we would come. Yeah, I think he ran at the Penn Relays when he was real young, a number of years ago. So his evolution has been there, but it's great to see younger guys do their thing and the run at that particular level. It really reminds me of the time when I had the opportunity of running and being young and running fast, and sharing the accolades with those individuals.
Now let's talk state of the sport a little bit. When you ran, it was sort of the golden era. There was an A circuit, there was a B circuit. Some would say there was a C circuit.
Yes.
Now it's to the point where a lot of the meets have, they no longer exist. And it means that if you are a B or C level athlete, you don't have a lot of places to run. What would you like to see change in terms of modern day track and field compared to your era? I
would like to see a lot more, given to the numerous athletes as opposed to a lot of the opportunities given to selected athletes. I mean, we're going to have our first-tier athletes all the time. I think more focus has been given onto our first-tier athletes, whereas our second and third-tier athletes aren't getting those opportunities like they had when I ran. I remember getting into races, be honest with you, on the strength of being a member of Santa Monica Track Club. The fact that meat promoters in Zurich and Brussels and those places like that wanted Carl to participate, he was definitely that joker that Joe Douglas was able to place. And he would, say things like, well, of course, Carl's going to be participating in the race, but you have to put Kevin Young in the A race in the men's hurdles, or the B race in the men's hurdles. Many times I showed up to the races thinking I was going to be in the C race, and lo and behold, I'm right next to Andre Phillips. I'm right next to Danny Harris. I'm right next to Edwin Moses. So I had that liberty of having individuals like Carl, and so it kind of goes back into that, where our club teams that kind of allow the novice runners an opportunity for those clubs with those big A-tier athletes to play those cards to see if we can get those opportunities to the younger athletes so they can gain that experience both on the track and even in those big high-profile meets.
Our thanks to Kevin Young for joining us here on Inside Athletics. Be sure to join us next week when we will have part 2 of his interview. For right now, you can see right on your screen how you can interact with us via Facebook, Twitter, and of course on email. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you join us next time here on Inside Athletics.